issues. Although the fact that you all heard here, everybody tell me, do you hear some cheering? Tell me on Clubhouse. 1, 2, 3. We're clapping.
Yes, we do.
Okay. Wow. Well, somehow
the Gremlins have won the day.
We've won. We've won. All right. We are live, and so we will officially kick things off right now. Good morning, podcasters. Today is Thursday, June 4th, 2026, and today, AI storytelling and surviving the creator economy. Jeff Sieh joins us to share how creators can adapt to constant change without losing the voice that makes them human. So if you're listening live on Clubhouse, hit the share button, top right-hand side of the screen, and share it however Clubhouse lets you. And if you're catching us via YouTube, podcast, etc., please share this with a fellow podcaster. And now give us about 30 seconds, and we'll get things rolling. Thanks for being here. The Podcasting Morning Chat is powered by Ironic Media, helping podcasters launch, polish, and grow great shows. And by Content Creators Accountant, helping creators build real business behind their content. Good morning again, Podcasting Morning Show. Thank you so much for being here. I am your host, Mark Ronick. Currently on stage, we have Ralphie Stepp, Sid Meadows, DR Fay, BC Babbles, and I think I've got all of the co-hosts. Have I forgotten somebody? I'm trying to see because I'm looking in multiple. Yeah, I think I've got everybody. And of course, we also have our guest for today, Jeff Sieh. We will hear from him momentarily. We also on stage, I need to pause and say hello to Junaid, who today is a pretty big day for Junaid Ahmed. Junaid, first, happy birthday, Junaid, and I'm just going to say it, whether I don't know if you'll be insulted or not, but Junaid turns 50 years old today. So congratulations there, Junaid. And also congratulations, I won't say it, I'll let you share the other part in the news, but I will say congratulations in advance. But with that, birthday boy, please say hello. Please tell us your big announcement as well. And after that big setup, you better come off mic now.
I know, right? Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much. This is has been so much fun being part of this community, but being part of the community that loves and cares for each other and supports each other. And I'm so excited to be here. The announcement for my big 50 birthday is I'm launching a software for podcast hosts. As you all know, I've been a podcaster for 8 years. I recorded over 800 episodes with guests. And I found that there was some issue that we all went through, and nobody went and solved the problem because I interviewed over 100 podcast hosts, agency owners, and they're like, "Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be done." I'm like, "No, it doesn't have to be that way." So I solved that problem with Podglue, and I'm so excited to launch it today. It's been in beta for the past few months, but Mark, thank you again for giving me the stage, and I really appreciate you and the community that you put together. Thanks so much.
And that's podglue.com. You're welcome, Junaid. So check that out. Let's support Junaid and check that out. Give it a try. I think you're going to be really impressed. Junaid showed me the latest version. He's showed me a couple of versions over the past several months, but I just saw the latest version probably about a month ago, and mind blown. Like, it is unbelievable what he's put together. So go check that out. Let's support a fellow community member. And
Mark, one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Add. So I'm doing the launch today at 10 a.m. I'm going to be live streaming for 3+ hours, demoing Podglue, and people can jump in and ask questions. So it's going to be live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. So if anybody's interested, I dropped the link in the chat, podglue.com/live. Thank you.
You're welcome. Congratulations. Happy 50th, my friend. Again, sorry I didn't get to see you earlier this week, but we will make it happen when I get back. All right, with that, I'm going to hand the baton to Ralph, and we will officially greet our guest today with Ralph's little intro. Go for it, Ralph.
Well, today we get to hang out with a true friend of mine. That's Jeff Sieh. Now, Jeff is a creator. He's a storyteller. He's a live video host. He's a podcaster. And he's also a visual marketing pro who spent more than 20 years helping businesses and creators tell better stories. And this is a fun follow-up for our community because last week we had Katie Hawks on the show, Jeff's co-host on the Maker's Table. So today we get to continue that creative conversation from another angle. Now, many of you may know Jeff from Manly Pinterest Tips, his social media news live, and now called Creator News Live, where he helps creators make sense of what's changing in AI, what's changing in social media, video, podcasting, and the creator economy. But what I love about Jeff is that he doesn't just chase tools and trends. He helps creators stay human. He helps us stay memorable, and he helps us use technology in a way that supports their voice instead of replacing it with AI. So today we're going to talk about AI, we're going to talk about storytelling, repurposing, standing out online, and how creators can keep showing up with personality and purpose while everything around us keeps changing. So please welcome my dear friend, Jeff Sieh, to the show.
Oh, thanks, Ralph. That was great. Appreciate you.
Thank you for that, Ralph. And Ralph, I'm going to just let you take the first question.
Sure, absolutely.
I'll dive in.
And Jeff, I'm going to be heading down to Texas tomorrow. I got my cowboy hat on already today. I'm going to see my grandson tomorrow. So
That's awesome.
Looking
Congrats,
forward to
Ralph.
that. But before we get into AI and social media, I'd like the community to understand your creator journey a little bit. You've gone from Manly Pinterest Tips to Social Media News Live to now it's called Creator News Live. I check it out every week. You do consulting, you do speaking, production, storytelling. When you look back at that path, Jeff, what's the thread that connects all of it?
So the thread that connects all of it, I think, is community. And so I was thinking about this the other day because I was like, I had a great opportunity that I just I was able to film and do some remote production for a big national toy company yesterday. I can't really say the name yet because I don't know if I'm supposed to, but it's all comes down to the people you know. Like I tell my kids this all the time. It's like you know, it's great to, you know, you need to work hard, you need to show up and all that stuff, but also make time to go and connect with your peers and your colleagues. So I've been a big believer in masterminds for a long time. And so I run 2 on Monday nights. They're paid masterminds that I run with a friend of mine, Paul Gowder. But I'm also been in one for over 10 years that I meet every Monday, and then another one on Tuesday that we've been meeting for like 5 years. So it's getting together and connecting with people because so I produce Guy Kawasaki's Remarkable People podcast, and I can trace that back to I made a thoughtful comment back on Google Plus back in the day for Peg Fitzpatrick. She was Guy's social media producer. I didn't even know that at the time, but I was just like following up and like, hey, how do you do this or that? And we formed this bond, and she kind of mentored me in the space. And now I'm running his podcast. We've been doing that for over 5 years. So, and it's so cool because I get to edit people like Martha Stewart, Reed Hoffman. I mean, all these huge names that I get to be a part of this production. And it all comes back to me making a comment way, way, way back in the day on Google Plus. So it's those connections. It's the people that you help, that you're friends with. That's the big kind of thread that runs through everything and how my business has grown throughout the years.
My follow-up to that, and thank you for that, because I'm curious now, was there any moment when you realized, okay, I'm not just making content now, I'm actually building a voice and a point of view as a creator? Because I know that a lot of us at some point when we look back, we realize, oh yeah, there was that moment or that thing that really pushed it from being, you know, just making content to being a real voice.
Yeah, so I think for me it was I suffer from a lot of imposter syndrome and, you know, that kind of thing. I think a lot of creators do that. And even this thing that I talked about, that toy company that I was able to do yesterday, do a remote production for, I was really scared to do that, right? But I'm more scared not to do it than to do it. And I think that's the mindset, that kind of the shift you have to do is like, okay, if there's an opportunity, say yes and walk through it. Like, to be honest, Guy asked me to produce this podcast because some guy did it, like said he was going to do it and then just didn't didn't do what he said he was going to do and just dropped the ball. And they came to me and said, "Hey, Jeff, can you do this?" I'm like, okay. And I figured it out, right? I think if you trace a lot of these big, huge influencers and creators out there, if you go look, everybody's making it up as they go along. Nobody knows what they're doing, right? And I think that, and once you are able to say that and gather some people around you and talk about it and like, listen, I'm trying to figure this out too. Let's do this together. Like that's the whole thing, right? Like we all are just making this up as we go along. I love watching influencers and seeing what they're doing and all those big YouTubers and all that stuff. But you know what? That's their story and they have some best practices, but the algorithm has changed since, they've gotten big to where we're at right now. So I think it's like you can take those best practices, but we're just kind of we're figuring it out as we go along, right? And so that's where the community comes in.
No, and I think that's a really good point, Jeff. You got to figure it out as you go along because things are changing constantly.
Right. Yeah.
But I got to ask you about manly Pinterest tips because that name alone tells me you understand something important about standing out. What did that project teach you about finding a unique angle in this crowded content space? Because that's very unique.
Yeah. So when I started, I had a like web design company way back in the day. I actually did CD-ROMs. I did those goofy little credit card CDs. I had like one of those robot printers, and that was one of the things I did.
Did you just say CD-ROMs?
I know. Does anybody know what CD-ROMs are anymore? I'm like,
Wow.
I was in a talk the other day, and I was saying like, yeah, I just kind of like I was blanking out, and it was like a dial tone, and people looked at me like, "What's a dial tone?" Like they don't know what that is anymore. So anyway,
That's true. Wow.
nobody knows. Yeah, so mainly Pinterest tips. When I first started, I was looking at people like Jay Bear who wore the crazy suits. Other people like Seth Godin had the glasses. I mean, like I was like, okay, what can I do that's different that makes me stand out? And I had listened to this podcast, and it was actually Michael Stelzer's Social Media Marketing World kind of show. And this lady was on there, Cynthia Sanchez, talking about Pinterest, how it drove all this traffic to her blog. And I said, well, I've got a new blog. I should try that out. And at the time, Pinterest was mostly all women. Like it was like wedding and like nail art and all this kind of stuff. And I thought, okay. So I started and it started driving a lot of traffic to my site. In fact, it's still the biggest driver of traffic to me. I think I have like 40,000 followers on Pinterest. It's nuts. It's basically a visual search engine if you don't know. So I started this thing called Manly Pinterest Tips because I thought it was hilarious because no men were on it. And this was back in the Google Plus days, and it was the wild west of live streaming. Like it had just come out. Google Plus was kind of doing it. And I had like 5 other guys on this show who had way bigger followings than I did. And they wanted to do this show with me. And so we did this live show. We got that's how I met Guy Kawasaki. I got him on the show. I got Gary Goldstein, he was the producer for Pretty Woman and Under Siege. I mean, it was like the Wild West. We could get anybody on because they wanted to do live video. And so we did that. And that's kind of what got me noticed back in the day. And that got me my job when I worked for Social Media Examiner for 5 years. They had me come on and run their Pinterest account, which then led to their Instagram account, which then led to live producing and all this other, and speaking on stage and all this other stuff. So it was basically, that was what made me stand out way back in the day, and then doing live video when nobody else was doing it. So I guess that's the answer to your question there, Ralph.
Thank you. And for podcasters or content creators who feel like their topic has already been done by thousands of other people, other creators, what can they learn from how you positioned that particular brand?
So I would say that, yeah, everybody, but nobody's you. Like you're unique, just like everybody else, right? Like so,
Yeah.
Sure that somebody else has done it. Like there's nothing new under the sun, but nobody has your voice. Nobody has a weird looking beard that goes on, and looks like you do. Like it's your voice, it's your talk. And I've talked to Ralph about this before too, because there's other financial accountants out there. There's other financial influencers out there, but there's nobody who's Ralph, right? There's nobody who takes it the spin that he does. So, so don't be scared. Like share your voice. Nobody's got your opinions that you have, and you can talk. So I'm like, just go out and do it. Press record, get out there and go live, make a podcast. I think for me, for the Manly Pinterest thing, it just happened at the right time. Nobody was doing it. I had people on the platform, like ladies would message me and say, get off my platform. Like they were mad that I was on there. And I was like, listen, I'm just doing my thing, right? I'm not stepping on your toes, but it's really interesting. So you will have haters, but go out there and say share your voice.
No, I think that's very good advice, Jeff. And I want to get into AI now. So let's talk about AI.
All right.
And I know you do a ton of this stuff on your show, and I just love your opening jingles that you've done. If anybody hasn't seen them, you got to check this out because it is the coolest thing ever. But Jeff, let me ask you this. Why does AI matter for creators right now more than it ever has, especially for podcasters and live streamers who may already feel overwhelmed by all the tools? Why do you think this is so important right now?
So for me, it's the ability to have another set of tools that I get to use, right? So it lets me 10x the stuff that I was struggling with before. Like any podcasters out there, it takes work, like, to get stuff done. Like it to set up a show, do it right, it takes time. And this has allowed me to take the time. Listen, podcasters, nobody likes making show notes, right? Nobody at all.
That's true.
And so AI, that was the first thing I did. Like, AI was able to help me do show notes and get those done. But now I basically say Ralph's coming back on my show, which he's been on there a couple of times before. I say, okay, here's Ralph. He's been on the show before. Here's Ralph's bio. Here's what I want to talk to him about this time because we talked about this before. Go back and read my other transcripts about the show. Don't ask Ralph any more questions. And it actually lays out all at once in this huge document that I have set up now where I can go and I don't have to copy and paste anything. It does it. It actually goes into Canva now, creates the thumbnail for the show. It does everything automatically. And I just go and kind of, double check, make sure everything's okay. But it streamlines everything instead of like copying and pasting. And even back in the day when AI first came out, being able to I would have it here and over here and I'd copy and paste and move things around. Now I can do stuff almost automatically in like 15 minutes. The other cool thing, Ralph kind of alluded to it, is the things that I've always wanted to do that I haven't been able to do before, I can now. Like these songs that I have for each guest, I can have, I've dreamt about this since I was a kid. We all probably did podcasting into a tape recorder, had our own our own little show that we did for our family. And we put on these little shows up in the living room and all this stuff. But now I can have it and people are like, well, this AI is doing it for you. I'm like, listen, Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, all that, they have a room full of writers. We now have that with AI. We have a room full of writers that we can go back and forth, find the best bit that we can use. And so now I can have a opening that's a theme every week that fits into the same kind of song and theme that I do every week. In 15 minutes. I've never been able to do that before. That blows my mind. In fact, I think I can actually show you what I have done for the Maker's Table. Do you want me to play that real quick, Ralph?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Okay,
let's do it.
So this is what we're talking about. I did this. This was a Saturday. I went down a deep rabbit hole and I was like, okay, Maker's Table, if you don't know what that is, Katie Fox, who was on a couple weeks ago or last week, she crochets, I carve, and we have great conversation. It's really fun. It's just kind of a very relaxing show. But I thought, well, okay, what would be great for that? I was like, okay, maybe stop motion kind of animation because that's kind of handcrafted kind of thing. So I put this together and I'll play that right now.
Actually, we're not hearing it, Jeff.
Oh, you're not?
I think you need to share the sound as well. Can you, if you just stop it and reshare, because I really want to play it.
You want to play it? So
yeah, I really want to hear it because I was just fascinated. And by the way, if you want to see this as well, go to podcastingmorningshow.com/join us and you can choose the different video options and watch this either live or after the fact. Go check it out because this is looking really impressive.
So do you want to play it again or?
Yeah, let's do it. But when you share, there's a little toggle at the bottom that says share audio.
Okay, let me try this again. Let me see.
Jeff is an eCam guy, so yeah, I'm still not hearing it for some reason. Oh well. Well, we can actually maybe we can link to it somehow or share it somehow after in those show notes that everyone hates writing.
Yeah, so exactly. So anyway, it's a stop motion style animation, and I basically built it with thinking about Wallace and Gromit back in the day. That was the thing. And so never been able to do that before, but I was able to do it on a Saturday. I put it together. I used AI to create the actual the animation for all of it is done through that. So that kind of stuff never been able to do before. And so it's it's a whole nother thing that podcasters, video production, I'm like, don't be afraid to use it, because this is another like a set of paints that we can paint with. And so it's amazing that we're able to do that.
Yeah, Jeff,
The
I just want to follow up because I'm actually doing that with music now. And
Yeah.
it's amazing. Like tools like Suno, I'm
Mhm.
writing music and it's like, I'm not a musician. It's really amazing stuff. You were talking about how you have this workflow. Can you give us a little bit of behind the scenes, like the toolbox? What's in the toolbox? I know you talked about that with your guest from last week on your show, but
Mhm.
I was sitting there going, okay, obviously I am way behind on my AI skill set. So I went and bought Claude yesterday.
Oh,
And
yeah.
this morning on my morning walk, I had a 27-minute conversation with some Aussie guy that's my Claude robot now. But can you
Right.
get under the hood and tell us exactly what you're doing there, Jeff?
Yeah, so Claude has changed everything, right? That's what I use. I have it give me a morning brief in the morning where it has like, so I'm very into visual AI, like, because there's so much, I mean, AI is everywhere, like, and I'm just trying to stay in the visual marketing lane. So that's my thing. So I have it send me a brief every morning of all the news that happened in the last couple days, and even YouTube videos, and it actually can craft it because I'm speaking in kind of the middle of this month back in Wichita, and I was like, okay, and it actually puts it together like based on my talk, like what I'm going to talk about, and so that's one thing. But for putting together that like animation at the beginning, basically I had Claude write me a storyboard, right? And so that storyboard, I actually came up with like a character sheet, and I think Mark talked about this too when he was talking about his how he does his like Pixar images that he does
Yes.
for his stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he has a character sheet that he put together, and so I have a character sheet where it's got multiple poses of me and Katie. I got it the way I wanted it to. It gave me the color palette, all that stuff. So every time I prompt in Claude or whatever, I use that character sheet. So Claude wrote the kind of the storyboard. It gives me the prompts that I'm going to use for whatever tool that I'm going to use it in. And for me right now, ChatGPT has the best image creation hands down. So Claude writes the prompts. I take it into ChatGPT, and it makes those makes an image of the first frame of that kind of like that scene that I'm trying to create. So it makes that first frame, and then I'll take it into Magnific, which is like Higgsfield's one, Magnific is one. It's one of these kind of like aggregators of all these tools that work together. And I just like Magnific is the way it's laid out. So you can do the first frame and an end frame. The problem is if your frames are not exactly alike. In fact, in that opening video, I'm in like a cabin, and like even if the lamp moves a little bit, it'll like jump in a weird way if the beginning and end frame. So you got to be really careful with that. But then and even Claude will write the actual prompt for the animation that I'm going to use in Magnific. So Claude writes everything. I take it and put it in those things, and then I piece it together actually in like Descript or Premiere or whatever. But it all starts, like you said, Ralph, with that song in Suno. So I wrote the song, and Suno likes to make things long, so it's really hard to chop it down. So once you get it chopped down, then you save it, and then you can make multiple variations of that until you get what you want. So that's how it kind of all kind of puts together in a single thing.
So that wasn't vibe coding then, the
No.
way you did it. You
Right.
actually did it in the, it sounds weird to say, but in the more traditional way of using AI these days.
Mhm.
Okay.
And it's interesting because when you're putting together, you're like, so I had the song, I put it to Descript, and I downloaded what's called an SRT file, which is a caption file, which gets the timing for everything. So you have the timing of the song. But even then, like if you look at that video, at the very beginning, there's an opening shot of the cabin. That wasn't there at the beginning, but I needed some more space. So I went back. And the cool thing with like Claude and Cowork is you can have this conversation, and it's a really great thinking model, and it'll go back and forth. And so I added that at the end because I needed more space. And so you just kind of work with it. It's like you're a creative director and you're talking to like a team of animators to put this together. So it's really cool working that out. So it's just an amazing tool.
There are a lot of people out there, surprisingly, that still feel like AI these days is more of a trend, and maybe eventually it's not going to go anywhere. It'll die out or maybe not be nearly as popular as it was. And so I'd love for you to share where you think AI is creating real opportunity in the creator space and where creators might be just chasing shiny objects, because I do think that there is some kind of balance there. So I'm curious what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I don't think AI is going to ever replace the human voice. Even the thing that I created, like that's me. I came up with it. It was a partner that worked with me in this. So I don't think it's ever going to go, I just don't think it's going to take over. And, the problem is people try to hit the easy button and don't do the humanness in the AI. And that's why you're getting that AI slop that's out there. But I don't consider what the AI stuff I do as art at all, but I mean, it's me having another tool set and being able to do cool little segments in my show and in my podcast. Um, so that kind of stuff I think is really, really cool. The issue is I think that people get nervous about, like, is it going to take over as nobody's going to be creative anymore? My thing is, we don't have conferences and we don't have these big, like all this talk about, like spell check, right? We don't go to a conference for spell check. I think
Right.
eventually it's going to be baked into everything, just like spell check is, right? Like
Yeah.
AI is already starting to be there. Like, but we don't go to a spell check conference anymore and get all excited and form these groups about spell check anymore. Like it just doesn't happen. So I think it's eventually going to get that way. But right now everybody's like trying to figure out how it works and where we can put it in there. I follow this girl named Allie K. Miller, and she's one of the biggest influencers on AI. And one of the coolest things she said is just go argue with AI. Like if you go into Claude and you go in there and like it says, hey, but like just say like, no, Claude, do it. Like figure out how to do it, make it work, and then
Yeah.
it'll start thinking through it and make it work. In fact, for this opening AI thing that we've been talking about for the Maker's Table, I really wanted a bouncing ball because it's a very catchy song and it's kind of almost like one of those the old school kind of karaoke things. And I was trying to
Yeah.
make it like squash and stretch, kind of look really cool. And I was like, I can't get it. Like, go find me a subtitle tool that will do that for me. There's not any out there. So I said, okay, Claude, fix it, figure out how to do it. So it wrote me this program where I can dial in stuff in like it was like a web-based thing that it built for me, and I could do these sliders and stuff. It was still off, and I said, that's still not working, Claude. And then it said, okay, let me go into After Effects, because I use After Effects as an Adobe tool that I have. And it built me like a wireframe and it made it for me. And I basically just have to go in and keyframe it. Like, what? How did it do? I mean, it's just like I just argued with it and it
Yeah.
figured it out. Like that stuff to me is super cool.
Were you bullying your AI,
I
Jeff?
was yelling at it a little
It's
bit.
okay. I think we
A
have to
little bit.
do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sometimes we do have to do it. I try hard not to, but eventually I'll lose my patience. I think that Sid has a question over on Clubhouse. Sid, good morning to you. What did you want to ask?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Jeff, thanks for being here. Great conversation so far. And I'm a Texas guy too. We live in far north Fort Worth, so I
Awesome.
love
Yeah. Not very
East
far.
Texas. Yeah. Um, so can you explain specifically the AI tool setup that you're using for the podcast? You said you've got it creating your show notes for you. It's doing this. It's doing that. I'm investigating you creating a GPT as well as creating something in Claude Cowork.
Hmm.
So I'm just curious what you set up and how it's working for you, and what is it actually doing?
Sure. So I'm going to actually, just so I can tell you exactly what I did, because I did it for my show coming up on Friday already. So what it actually does, it makes this huge document for me. And the cool thing about Claude Cowork, now this is built all in Claude Cowork, is that it's a living document. Like I can go back and go like, hey, by the way, you put this section way down there and it's just move it up and like let's not use those words anymore. And so it's constantly evolving. And the cool thing is it always gets smarter. Like it just the more you use it, the better it gets. So for my show, so I have Jerry Potter coming on the show. He's a YouTube guy on Friday. And first of all, I just basically said, "Hey, Jerry's coming back on the show. I want to talk about this. Here's some news articles because usually we talk about news. Like YouTube's broke some new stuff. Like they're talking about their AI surfacing, just sections of your YouTube video, not the whole thing, which is very very interesting. And so I said, hey, I want to talk about that. So it writes me kind of interview questions. Now I won't get into this. Some people say don't use questions. Some people do. I always do. I have for I don't know how long, 15 years, just because that's just the way I work, right? And I give those to the guest because it makes them feel better. And so it writes me the questions, but then it also puts together audience questions. So because I'm doing a live show, and it's so I always have 3 sections with 5 questions each for each section. But I also want audience involvement questions, and so it writes those for me, right in the same kind of thing. And then after that, it gives me the YouTube prompt. It gives me the LinkedIn one. It gives me the Facebook one. It gives me all these different. I share a lot into groups, so it gives me about 3 different versions that I can share into groups. So I can copy and paste that over to share to Facebook groups. It also gives me the YouTube, the tags, all that stuff, all in one document. It also will create for me the prompts that I'm going to use to create the graphics. So I have a very specific look. It's kind of 50s kind of look to my show, and the music fits into that as well. So it writes me the prompts that I'm going to either take to ChatGPT or into Midjourney is one of my favorite tools that I use as well. So it writes me 2 of those, so I can choose whichever one I want. So it writes me those. It gives me the actual the actual prompt to animate it, because I also animate it for my show. Because when I play the song, I pull up the YouTube thumbnail, but it's animated. And so I do that all at once. And so all this stuff is baked into this co-work document. Before I was having to I had like a list of prompts, and I would copy and paste and all this stuff. So everything is there. And then it also writes the lyrics to my song. It gives me a couple different versions of that. So it's all done all at once at one time. So that's kind of my setup for everything's built in co-work for me.
And what I would like to do now is pause here real quick, because I want to share, well, I'm going to have Ralph share what's happening on tomorrow's show. And what I want to say about tomorrow's show is I won't be there tomorrow. I begin my travels for the volunteer work that I do, that I'll be doing all next week at that summer camp for kids with the disability called CMT. So I'm asking you all right now, and I'll probably ask you again, please show up tomorrow, show up next week. And when I say show up, I don't mean just be there. Like, let's support the team and be bigger participants and help really make this show go smoothly in my absence. Not that I don't think it will, but I just think I want us to support people like Ralph, who will be leading the charge, and DR right there by his side, and the whole team for that matter. And I really want to make sure that things go well. So please come Friday, come all next week, and show your support. With that, Ralph, what's happening tomorrow?
So I have some exciting news. Tomorrow we're going to go live with Ecamm. And because we're going to be testing out Ecamm, we're only going to go streaming live on YouTube. We'll still do Clubhouse. But tomorrow we're going to be doing a mailbag episode. And I've got some really cool questions to talk about. We're going to talk about what happens when your co-host quits after 3 years, just as the show is finally growing. Then we're going to talk about 2 beginning podcasters using one mic for both of them, and trying to decide what we should tell them to do about whether they should have separate mics. And then we're going to talk about what you would do if you have a client who wants to stop a live recording and tell the guest to use his left hand instead of his right hand as he's speaking. We're also going to, yeah, that's a great one. I saw these on Reddit. I said, this is what we got to talk about. We're going to talk about smoother podcast transitions, and we're going to end it with mistakes hosts obsess over that listens may never notice. And then, of course, we're going to close it out with wins of the week. So you can always join us live at podcastingmorningshow.com/join us. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And like I said, bear with us. We're going to be testing out Ecamm, which I use all the time. So it won't be a big deal, but it'll be new to this show. So I want to make sure we're having fun with that. But with that, let's get back into what we were talking about. So Jeff, you talked about this Claude co-work, and you talked about this AI workflow. And it sounds like you're doing it for everything. So tell us about how much time that saved you, and about how do you have other people that are working for you? Is it really allowed you to do it all on your own? Because I know you and I have had conversations about this, and you truly feel like at some point AI is going to do editing. AI is going to do a lot of the stuff that some of us are paying other people to do. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit, Jeff?
Yeah. So to be honest, I'm a little nervous, because part of what I do, like for Guy and for other places, is I edit stuff. Like I edit video, I edit audio. It's getting to the point now where AI, I think in 3 months we'll be able to do most of that. Descript has changed everything. So I went kicking and screaming into Descript. That was what Guy wanted to use way back 5 years ago when it first started. And so I was like, oh gosh, because I was an Adobe Audition guy, and then like the whole thing. But I was like, okay, it was a little clunky, but then it started to make sense and it really started to work and it started to save me a lot of time. And I think with like actually Descripts has a beta right now where you can use Claude to connect to it and it will edit your stuff for you by just talking to the AI. There's another one, I think it's called Reframe, that plugs into a lot of YouTubers are using it now to actually create videos for it. So it's getting to that point where I think we'll be able to talk to our AI and have it edit video. Now, there's always going to be, like, I still with Descript, you can go in and Descript and say, shorten the word gaps, right? Like it'll automatically do that. I never do that because it's too robotic for me, because like right now, like there's a pause and I was thinking, and that's, you have to let your podcast breathe and like the editing breathe. So there still is some art to it. So I don't use that feature of it, but I'll go in and take out the ums and ahs and that kind of stuff. That saves a ton of time. But I think we're getting there. If and so I'm redoing my entire like business model. I'm doing a lot of AI consulting now. People are paying me to come in and help them. Even podcasters and national radio shows are having me come in and help them streamline their process a little bit. So I don't think it's going to change things. It's going to affect my business, but I think we need to pivot. Like, don't be scared of it. Like, for me, I think of it like, we don't have blacksmiths on every corner like we used to back in the days when everybody rode horses, right? We just don't. Right. There's still blacksmiths, right? They're still out there, but we don't have them everywhere anymore. And so I think things are going to shift and change. I think it's an opportunity for creators. I'm not gloom and doom. I mean, it's going to be hard for people who don't want to change. It's always that way. It's almost like the train, like when the trains and the Intercontinental Railroad came by, everybody was, upset. It was taking farmland. Is this going to change everything? Who wants to go that fast anyway, right? Like nobody wants to go that fast. And it was disruptive, but it changed and it moved forward. So I kind of feel like it's like that. So I would say, like reach into it and think of different ways you can optimize and how you can change your business to actually embrace it and move faster than other people, because a lot of people are scared of this thing, and teaching them how to use these new tools, I think, is a big opportunity. Is that the answer to your question, Ralph?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think you just nailed it. A lot of people hear the word AI and they go, "Oh, we're all going to lose our jobs." Right? It's actually opening up doors to new opportunities, like you've pointed to. I know. Let's go to Mark, because Mark said someone has another question for you.
Yeah, actually, I think Stacy Sherman has another question.
Yes, hi, thank you. So two things. One, I do exactly what you are, using Claude to manage my entire flow.
Mm-hmm.
What I found is it's not doing a good job with SEO. Um, no, for the title, like when I put into another tool, it's not coming up with a high ranked title, it's a low score. So question one is, have you cracked the nut to use the Claude to give you use SEO, whatever the magic is? Question one, and is there a prompt for that you recommend? And number two, Cast Magic used to be so popular. Is that still exist? Anybody using it, and why? Thank you.
So Cast Magic, I still use it most of the time to grab transcripts from things that I want to throw into AI. So that's basically what I use that for. For the SEO thing, I think it's only going to give you as good as a model as like examples that you've given it. So I have subscribed to some of those tools. What I like to do is actually give it a whole bunch of good titles, and even like books or things like that you can find that you can put in it to use as a reference. Even when I was talking about the images, everything, it's only as good as the reference that you give it. So for the images, I have to give it a great image, and then it'll take it and move from that. For SEO, it's the same thing. I have subscribed to a couple different tools, and I'm able to put some of those outputs in there, and I say, hey, do it like that, and then go double check this SEO thing, like argue with it. Like the best thing you could do with AI is argue with it. Like if you're putting something in and you're like, okay, it's not giving me this great score when I put it into this other tool, tell it like, hey, by the way, this isn't good. Like if you tell something AI, especially Claude, if you tell it's not good, it will remember that, and then it won't do it anymore. So I would put a bunch of good SEO titles that you think are excellent, or that tool, that the other tool that you're using, put some examples in there and say, do it like this. I think you'll get better results. I don't think there's like a specific prompt that you can give it. I think it's based on the reference that you're pointing it to, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. You said you're using Cast Magic for the transcript. Why would you do that? I'm trying to figure out what else Cast Magic is doing, because that you can do in Descript or
Hmm.
Gemini, or
Right.
So I'm just curious, what is there any other value, and you're paying for
So
Cast Magic?
So Cast Magic, I bought back when it was AppSumo, and I got like the free lifetime kind of thing. So I don't really feel like I'm paying for it. It's basically, I don't want to use my Descript credits for, like, if I see Ralph and I'm like, man, his show was really good that way, I want to remember it, I want to grab that transcript, I'll take it to Cast Magic that way. So for me, it's not part of my like tool stack. It's like a thing that I have because I purchased the lifetime thing, and I'll use it so I don't use credit somewhere else, if that makes sense.
Sense. Yeah, a lot of sense. And there's nothing else in there that you're finding worth buying? Like, is there something I don't know that it does?
Not, I think if you already have bought it, like if you're paying a monthly thing, it may be worth not using anymore and using another tool like Descript, or investing in something like that. I always tell people, don't buy like a year subscription to anything with AI anymore, because it changed. Like last week it was OpenAI, and this week it's Claude. And so I like being able to cancel something and move to something else, because it's just the Wild West out there. And they're all wanting you to go for a yearly plan. Like that, they push that really, really hard. And I'm like, no, because there's only one that I'll use that I bought a plan to. Is gosh, I can't even think of Magi from Dustin Stout, because it's a great like tool that has all the different tools in it. That's worth it for me. But everything else, I'm like, I'm not, because like OpenAI right now has the best image model hands down. Last week it was Nano Banana, and then it's going to be something else the next week. And so I like to be able to switch, especially because I do a lot of visual stuff, and so I don't lock myself into a yearly plan.
And as the money guy on the show, Jeff, I love that.
Hold on one second, real quick. Stacy, you asked, is that Magi?
Ma- yeah. What is that? Magi?
Yeah, it's kind of like what I mentioned with Magnific. Magnific's more of an animation kind of aggregator. It uses all the different AI animating kind of tools and models out there. Magi is the same way. You can like use ChatGPT, you can use OpenAI, you can use all these things, and it's a really cool interface. I've known Dustin for forever, and he's the one who has put this together. So it's a great one that you can go in and you can test all these models. You can save all your prompts. It's got a great like interface. And so when people are wanting to get into AI and want to test out different things, that's what I always recommend is Magi.
Yeah, I'm actually in a mastermind with Dustin. I've been trying to get him to come on the show, but he's on the
Yeah,
other
he's early.
coast, and he says
Early.
Rob, it's hard for me to get up that early. But let me pivot to something, Jeff.
Yeah.
A lot of AI content is polished,
Mhm.
but a lot of it feels empty, and it just doesn't seem like it has any soul to it. So my question for you, and you do a good job of this, by the way, how do creators use AI without taking off their personality and losing that relationship that makes people care and helps them become who they are? How do you feel about that, Jeff? Because you're all in on AI, dude, but it doesn't seem to take away from your personality. I think that's really important.
It comes down to people want to hit the easy button, right? They just want to hit a button and have it just spit out, and they'll copy and paste it and put over there. You can't do that. You've got to read everything. You've got to look at everything. The thing for me, like for the music and for these animations that I do and all that stuff, I am excited about it. It's got my hand on it. It's got me on it. It's got like my vision, and like even the storyboard that Claude made, I went and I fought back and forth with. So it's stuff that I really like. It's for me, it's stuff that I couldn't do before that I can do now, right? That's the thing for me. And even my emails, like here's the biggest unlock. Like if you haven't done this yet, you need to do this. Go get WhisperFlow. WhisperFlow is a tool where basically you can talk into any program on your computer, and it'll get the text. I mean, if you ever remember Dragon Naturally Speaking way back in the day, Ralph and I are showing our age now. That was very clunky.
Careful now,
Yeah.
my friend.
There you go.
I just like that you don't think I'm part of that age group.
That's right. I know Ralph. Ralph and I are the same age. So
Yeah.
that that you can speak into it. So like I call it visual vomit. Like I just blah, blah, I'm talking to my AI and just vomiting stuff out. And the cool thing is that's great for AI because it gives it more context. It gives it more, instead of typing things out, if you're speaking into it, go, no, what I meant was blah, 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 and it'll clean it all up. And that's what I use Whisper Flow. It's great. So I can't remember what I was saying here anyway, but being able to go in and do that and not make it like even my emails, like I'll speak out my emails that I write. So I might write usually an email that's a Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I do one for the Friday show to remind everybody it's coming up. So those Tuesday, Wednesday emails are very much me. Like I speak it into there, but it's still me. Now AI cleans it up, but it's still like the jokes are me, the weird stuff. Like people tell me my emails, like, I know this is an AI because AI would not say that. Like
It's about the only email, Jeff, that I actually read and I look forward to. And when I don't get it, I panic.
Did I lose you? Are you there?
No, we heard you.
Okay.
We lost you for a second. What I was saying, Jeff, is it's the only email that I make sure I read when it comes into the email box because it's always entertaining.
Oh, thank you, Ralph. Appreciate that. Your emails are great too, by the way. Like, you put out a lot, but like I read them. So, and I always tell Ralph like, oh, great subject line. That hooked me right there. So yeah, he does a good job too.
Well, let's pivot for a second. I know we could talk about AI all day today, and where you are the kind of guy who follows a lot of creator tools, the platform changes, and all those trends really closely. So for us, for the indie podcasters, for the DIY creators, what should they actually be paying attention to right now?
So a couple things. One, read stuff outside of your industry. Like that's where creativity happens, right? Like if you're not a finance guy, go read Ralph's stuff because he's got good stories that'll spur things up on your mind, right? Like, so read widely, watch YouTube videos widely, like things that if something interests you, go follow it. Like life is too short not to play and learn and figure out stuff. So that's the thing for me. I would also, if you are in the Claude ecosystem, the first thing I would tell you is go create a daily brief. Like go in there and say, hey, I'm interested in this stuff. I want to get this in my email box every day and get that, like start it. It'll surface things and you can craft it to, like, if you're doing a talk or you're speaking on a podcast on a certain thing, like if you have a podcast about a certain, topic, let's say you're doing one on model trains, like you can get in your inbox every day, a model train like digest of what's happening in the world that you wouldn't find, you would have to go out and search for, but you could get that every day. So I would do that kind of stuff to really stay abreast of like what's happening in whatever space you're at.
And we've got somebody on stage as well, from one Jeff to another. Jeff Dwoskin, good morning. What question do you have for Jeff?
Hey, Jeff. Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, great. I had a Whisper Flow question. Since you mentioned you use it, I've been dying to ask someone this. What's the difference between that and just me using like the accessibility on my computer? Like I just hit control twice and I can talk into my computer. Because I agree, talking is a great way to prompt. What is Whisper Flow?
Because you can actually speak into a lot of the AIs, right? Like they have like a voice model. I find it's way slower. And the cool thing about Whisper Flow, it will clean up your ums and ahs and all that kind of stuff as well. It's kind of like, because it's an AI itself. And so that's what I use it for. And it's just a lot faster. It's very smooth. They have a great free plan. So if you haven't tried it yet, you should go on and do it. In fact, and they have a great like affiliate thing. Like I share it with everybody, and I think I have like 5 free months with it on their pro plan because I've shared it so much. But that's the thing that I found. It's those accessibility things, but there's like a delay, and it kind of will put everything in there. It's like recording it exactly. And Whisper Flow it's almost like going from, this sounds bad, from a PC to a Mac. I don't get the blue screen of death anymore. It just works, right? Like it just works. And Whisper Flow is the same way. It just works. I hit 2 keys on there and I speak it out. So if you're using I would love to know, Jeff, if you try it, like the comparison of what you're using before, because personally, I think it's going to be a lot smoother and a lot easier, and it works in every program.
All right, I'll check it out.
And DJ Rez is also on stage with a question. Go for it, Rez.
Hey, I just want to say this is such a great show. So much value here. Thanks so much. My question, I guess, is it all of these platforms have a different strength, right? Like so, ChatGPT, as you pointed out, is good for image creation. Claude is good for reporting. In my case, how much money ultimately should I be spending? Like, should I have a subscription to most of these platforms? I guess that's my question, really. Thank you.
So I guess, how big of a nerd are you? That's the question.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, pretty nerdy, I would say. Yeah.
And what's your budget?
So,
what's your budget
yeah,
too? I mean,
yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah,
So this is
not a lot.
So, for me, this is what my stack is right now, is that I have dropped down OpenAI to the basic, I still pay for it. I think it's the Pro, it's the lowest one, because I use their images all the time. Like that's the
$20 tier.
And yeah, and so my daughter uses it. She's on my team, so she works for me full time. She uses that a lot. Claude, I pay for the $100 a month plan, because to me it's another employee, right? Like it's a really cheap, really good employee, because it does so much and it can do stuff while I'm sleeping. Like that morning brief, it comes up every morning. I don't do anything. It's there. It's working at night. I am just scratching the surface in Claude, like the Claude design. Now I have like a brief that I can build my own website. Just like I can say, go build it. Here's the story brand template. I want you to go do that. So for me, it's worth it. Like it's a really great investment for me for not hiring another team member, but actually using that in that aspect. So I pay for that. For the animation stuff, I really like Magnific. I talked about because so the video I did for the Maker's Table, I was trying to think about how much it would cost. It's probably about $100 to make that thing if you count all the subscriptions. But like, I would never be able to do that for $100 in like 3 years ago, right? Like never. Like I would have to hire a music company. I'd have to hire an animator. I have to storyboard it, a graphic designer, and now I can do it all, and I can have it exactly the way I want, right? So for me, that's really cheap. Like $100 to have an opening video that people talk about and share. Like you got to be kidding me, right? So for me, it's a great investment. But like Ralph, I know he's the financial guy. You don't have to go get everything at once. Like I would start with Claude. I would start with their paid low plan. And then if you start maxing out the credits, then you could go up. But for me, it's an employee is what it is.
All right. So Jeff, I have maybe 1 or 2 more questions, but first I want to give you a chance to share with our community. Where's the best place to connect with you?
Well, I mentioned my newsletter before. I would love if you go to jeffsieh.com/news, and C is spelled S as in Sam, I-E-H, I before E, especially in C. That's how my mom told me to say it. So that's a great place because we have a great email community and we talk back and forth. I love the people who subscribe to my email, and jeffsieh.com is where I'm at. But Creator News Live every Friday, 10 a.m. Central every week. So that's where we do the live show, have some great guests on. Ralph's been on there before. I got to get Mark on there. It's a great community. We just have a blast for that show. So I'd love to connect over that way.
Right on. Well, on your site, you mention being a young kid in a homemade snowman costume and realizing you enjoyed entertaining people. How much of content creation today is still about that basic ability to hold attention and make people feel something?
Oh, I think it's everything. Like, I think everything is edutainment, right? Like, I think if you can entertain and educate, they're not going to remember like, hey, Jeff said this about Claude. They want to know how you made you feel. I try to make everybody feel like they're seen and heard, and we have a good time. Everything is about relationships. Like Ralph and I, we did business together. We're not doing business together right now, but we're still friends. We still talk. Like, my core philosophy is I would rather lose business than a relationship. That's how I run my company. That's how I do it. relationships are everything. And so I think if you're not moving somebody like emotionally or whatever, then why are you doing it, right? Like I do live video because I like to bring up people's comments. That's why you guys do this show. Like you can bring up people from Clubhouse and have them on stage and talk. That's what it's all about. Otherwise, just do a YouTube video, right? That's fine. Like a lot of great YouTubers out there. But for me, I like the connection with people. So I think the more you can move people or make people think or laugh or have a enjoy the company together, that's what it's all about.
Jeff, I'm all about action. So let's end it today with an action question. So for the indie podcast or the creator listening right now, who's excited about what we're talking about, but feeling a little overwhelmed by AI and social media, we've had a lot of discussions about video and everything changing so fast. What's one move you tell them to make this week to really embrace this and really stay up to date with what's going on? Something they can do just today to make it work.
So get WhisperFlow, go try the free trial, and then speak into Claude or whatever and have it interview you. Like say, hey, I want to spend the next 30 minutes having you interview me, and have it create a document of what your core philosophy is, what your business is, what your belief system is, and then save that. And doesn't matter what AI or what changes in the future, the thing with Claude and OpenAI, having those reference documents about who you are, what your beliefs are, and what your business model is, like that is gold. Like that is gold. That's who you are. And so you can point whatever AI tool you're looking at that. And that has changed everything for me. So I have a core who Jeff Sieh is kind of document. I have a core what my business is for this year. I have what I believe in. Like I mentioned, like I would rather lose business than a relationship. That is in that document, right? That is who I am. And so being able to point the AI to reference that, that's going to change everything for you. So once you have those documents down, then AI just opens the door to creativity, to productivity for your business. That's what I would start with first.
And Jeff, I just want to say one more thing because you just brought it up. And I know your heart, dude. And what you just said, can you repeat that about you'd rather lose business than a friendship? Because I think so many people need to hear that, because we're in this time when people are so against this and against that, dude. Can you say that one more time? Because I just think we need to embrace that as we close out today.
Yeah, I would rather lose business than a relationship. I think that's the core thing. I think people are hungry for that. As AI grows and more AI slop goes out there, like it's going to happen because people want to hit that easy button. The more you can be that to somebody else, like a real person, do live video, get out in front of people, and embrace the relationships. That's going to change everything for you and your business and just being a better person.
There's one other thing that you said that I think is really important to wrap up with here. And you were talking about how you train AI and how you upload these documents all about you, your values, your business values, et cetera. And I think this is so important, this whole concept of know thyself, right? Because a lot of creators bang their heads against the wall. They're trying to figure out how to make things work. And I would be willing to bet that the majority of those people haven't taken that time that you're sharing with us to actually understand what their own values are, what their business values are, right? And I think that if we can do that first, I think that then we can start noticing those changes that we're hoping for as we put out new content every single day or week, depending on your cadence. So I'm curious your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so I that has been the biggest unlock for me, not only AI, but also for my business. And Claude does a really great job with this. That's why I like it better right now than like OpenAI and some of the other models, is because it has it built in. It's kind of like ask the question kind of a thing. So have it interview you, like say, hey, I need you to understand my business. I need you to understand what I'm doing. And the cool thing is it's a living document. Like my goals will change. Like when my kids were home, it was different. Now that they're out of the house, it's different. It's going to change later as I get older. And so it's a living document. So you can update it. It's not like baked in stone. So don't freak out about it, but have it interview you. And that can do one, it's really great because you're like, oh, I never really thought about like, why do I do this kind of stuff? And it really kind of unlocks some things, and you can go back and forth, and it's getting really, really smart. And once it starts to know you, it's going to ask you even more deeper questions. And that just really makes all of your output so much better. And it just really does, for me at least, help with creativity and new things that I can try and share with my audience.
I love that. Thank you, Jeff. And thank you for taking this hour with us. I've been reading the chat. Lots of people really excited about today's show. Rez said he was really grateful for the show. So thank you for bringing all your knowledge today. And would love for you, and I know everybody says this on a show, but I really would love for you to come back, keep coming back if you can. If you ever have some free time at 8 a.m, just come join us. We'd love to have you. You are a wealth of knowledge, and I'm so grateful that Ralph connected you with the community today. So thank you, sir. Really appreciate you.
Thank you. I've Katie told me about this, the show that she was on, and just I touch base with Ralph all the time, and so he was telling me about it too. So kudos to you for this community. I love it. I love people coming together around a common thing, and it's awesome to see.
Me too. Well, thank you for being here, and a reminder to everyone that I am out as of tomorrow until the following, what is it, Ralph? We said June 15th is when I'll be back.
Yes.
Officially. Yes. Okay. June
Correct.
15th. So Ralph will be holding down the fort, of course, with all the rest of the cast and crew. And again, please come join and participate, jump on stage, be a part of the conversation. I know I say it often, but without me there, I would love to know that everybody's got the team's back. So consider that for this next 7-8 days, or actually, I would say 5-6 days. So with that, if you want to support the show, podcastingmorningshow.com/support. And if you want to come back, it's podcastingmorningshow.com/join us. So until tomorrow, make it a great day, everybody. Take care.